there's a lot of you that's stuck in the past. And what that means is you didn't map the territory well enough, and the parts of your brain that are alarm systems, anxiety systems, are saying, no, there's holes in the way you're looking at the world. There's holes in the way that you're looking in the world. And you fell in them once, and you don't know where they are, and you don't know how to fill them, and you don't know how to walk around them. And so you can't forget them, you can't forget them, you can't forget them, you can't forget them. So you have recurring nightmares, for example, are a good example of that sort of thing happening. But in any case, if you have memories like that, you remember them, they make you feel anxious and negative, you're stuck back there. Your body is still reacting as if there's an emergency that could happen again that you haven't fixed. And it doesn't matter if it was your fault, that's irrelevant, because the alarm system doesn't care. Like, when your smoke detector goes off, it isn't relevant whether it was your fault. The smoke detector just says, house is on fire, and that's a bad thing. And your anxiety systems are like that. If they're tagging old memories with anxiety, then you have to do something about it, or you will be tortured by those memories forever.
It seemed like as we were locked down physically, we were also locked down mentally. As we felt kind of stuck in our own homes and in our apartments, we also felt stuck inside our own heads. We fell into cyclical thinking. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there weren't fresh inputs, no fresh experiences being added into our lives, so we didn't have novel ideas. It was all exacerbated as well by the fact that the algorithms that we were likely leaning on heavily through YouTube and Netflix and Twitter and all of that learn what we tend to click on. So we start to develop these deep digital grooves into certain topics of interest, and you start getting recommended the same content day in and day out, and you start to wonder, like, why am I stuck in a rut? Why am I thinking the same things that I'm thinking all the time, and how come I can't get out of this pattern?
So we read a bunch of books nowadays. As humans, we want to find out how to be someone else. What we don't do is we don't go inside. So literally turn yourself inside out. We're writing a book every day of our lives, but we never read that book. So what I would challenge this young man or young woman to do is you have to look inside of yourself to see what you really want. What are you passionate about? We use these words and these little phrases of only the strong survive and all this other crap. They're all just fucking words. I get so tired of hearing people just talking. Like right now, someone may think Goggins just talking. You don't know me. So when I speak from passion, I speak from experience, I speak from suffering. I have to tell this young man or woman that the only way I believe, and this is my experience in life, the only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. And some people will get it, some people won't. But they have to see what their journey is to start their journey. Several people live to be 100 years old, and they have great lives, and they have great kids, and kids go to college and all sorts of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route. And they had a good life that way, but the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it. But a lot of us die never truly starting our journey. And I would tell this young person, you gotta start your journey. It may suck, but it will come out the other side where you're coasting.
There's 3 P's that you gotta annihilate, crush, or destroy if they're getting in the way of your progress in a relationship, or your career, or your happiness, or your health. These are the 3 P's that make learned helplessness. Number 1, you think the problem is permanent. Once you've had enough disappointment, sometimes your brain doesn't want to get disappointed, so it's a permanent problem. Please write down, no problem is permanent, only your soul is permanent. Every problem can be solved. Pandemics are not forever, winter is never forever, war is not forever. Nothing's forever. Everything changes, everything eventually ends, and something new begins. That's part of life. Those are the seasons of life. But when you start believing the problem's permanent, it is, because it's self-fulfilling. The second P that keeps people in learned helplessness so they don't change, this belief's got to be annihilated, broken through, and that it's pervasive. That means that because my relationship's not great, my whole life is horrible. Then you're forgetting you do have health, or you do have friends, or you do have a job, or you do have whatever. I can breathe. So, or my finances are messed up, so my whole life's over. It's not true. It's not permanent, it's not pervasive. And the third one is we think the problem is personal. There's something wrong with me. And if you start believing that, it becomes self-fulfilling. You give up. See, I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not smart enough, I always screw it up. So those 3 P's gotta be destroyed.
Identity and values drive behavior. So if you want to make a change, you have to change your vision of who you are. You have to begin telling yourself a different narrative. And the narrative you tell yourself about yourself is everything.
Too many people get trapped, believing they're powerless over their circumstances. People talk about their troubles like they're happening to someone else, like they're a passive bystander in their own life, a spectator to their own problems. These people never take action because they see themselves as a victim. They feel that every situation is out of their control. And you want to know the dark secret? They like it that way because then they don't have to do anything.
And if you tell yourself that you're a scared, undereducated kid from Tacoma whose family has never accomplished anything, let me tell you what you will become. A scared, undereducated kid from Tacoma who never accomplishes anything, because that's what you believe. You tell yourself that story enough and it will become real. But on the flip side, you could tell yourself a story of you're a learner. You learn faster than most people. You're willing to put in more work than most people. You're willing to read more books than most people. You're willing to spend an inhuman amount of time every day improving your mind simply by getting new ideas into the system. And that you will admit that you're wrong faster than anybody else, that you won't let your ego get in the way. And you tell yourself that story over and over and over. So when somebody comes and tells you how stupid you are, that you're just a dumb kid from Tacoma, you go, you're right, that's amazing. Thank you for pointing out that flaw, because now that I'm aware of it, I can improve it because I'm the learner. And once I switched my narrative to being the learner, it didn't matter where I started, it only mattered where I was trying to go. And as long as I had that clarity, then I could execute, because I believed I could do anything I set my mind to without limitation.
Every time we form a new opinion about who we are, we're right. Not because our opinions are based on fact or even shared by the people that know us best. Our opinions about ourselves are correct because every time we believe something about our identity, it becomes our reality. We are constantly, subconsciously creating the reality of our existence. So why not create it consciously? If you had the opportunity right now, in this moment, to create an entirely new reality for yourself, what would it look like? Which traits would the new you possess? How would you react under pressure? And how would you push yourself to learn and grow? And how would you push yourself to grow and get better? That person you're imagining, they're worth becoming. So get to know them. Get in the habit of thinking their thoughts, seeing the world the way they see the world. Because when you do that, when you get deep inside their mind, when you see things the way they see things, then you're really just becoming your future self.